if anybody joins, but hey guys, sorry, I meant to start this at 10, but got a little emotional. I had a friend. Anyways, hello. I am going to update you guys about what's happening on in my world. Hi. And kind of my viewpoint of how things are going on, especially in the US. I know it's a lot of tension, a lot of trauma. People are losing people. It's a hard time for a lot of people right now. I have been sick myself, detoxing years of abuse, but also some sickness, and I can get into that later, but it's been really hard. And I finally asked my mom to come in from Redding, California, to come help me just take care of myself, because I've taken on a lot, and just tried to do it on my own and kind of couldn't handle the stress. So, but she's been here for about 2 weeks now, and things are getting better. I'm getting better, and I'm moving along. So basically, I wanted to give away the Apple Watch because part of what I'm doing is I bought a bunch of estate jewelry from the US, and that included a couple Apple Watches, and I would rather give those away than trying to sell them, but that's kind of beyond the point. I'll announce that in a little bit. But part of what I wanted to do and what I've been working on is I ordered a bunch of books. I have a ton of books from Self-Care is Important. Thank you for the hugs. It's hard it was hard for me trying to do it all, take care of myself and do everything that I wanted to do. I wasn't giving myself, I needed to have other people help me. I needed to stop trying to do it all by myself, because it's so hard. But anyways, I bought a bunch of these books, and they're all about, like real estate titans, the last night on the Titanic. I've got the Vanderbilt family, Sotheby's, Chanel Riviera. I've got all sorts of books that are basically how our idols have made themselves who they are, how these rich houses, became that way, America's history and the world history, and also history of diamonds and gems and stuff. And what I'm doing with that, other than just, educating myself with it, is I created a website. Well, it's not created yet. It's up, but it's not ready. But the Library of the 1%, I want to put it up as a rental, for, you can rent whatever physical book you want, and start having discussions around these books in like a forum type environment. And, I know these things kind of exist in pieces, but I like the idea of a curated book selection, kind of like you're browsing in a bookstore, like a little Portland antique bookstore, and then, also somehow that's going to be integrated with the estate jewelry, because everything is integrated in the history and how they all work, and so that's kind of what my idea is going in the future. Putting that into, an actionable plan is the difficult part, especially when I've been sick. So that's kind of where I'm at. But another thing that I kind of had the realization recently is that there's a reason why we're all so anxious, and that's because the way America's economy is set up right now, like the NASDAQ and the stock market, the reward for short-term gains is too much in comparison to long-term gains. So, and that's, why these people are selling fucking single-use plastic over and over again, because they don't care about the sustainability of it all. But the problem with these companies being pressured to focus only on short-term gains, or basically have profits to give to the shareholders, because that's what they really care about. The company is no longer able to put that back into the company. Put it back into resources to get bigger and improve the company, and or give to other causes and stuff like that. So I thought that was an interesting thing to think about. And that's why a lot of private companies have a lot more freedom to do, well, obviously they have more freedom to do what they want, but they can do good, and focus on building things in their company and causes rather than pleasing whoever holds the bag with the money, so it's a little different. But what I see there, so I've been watching Antique Roadshow, which is an interesting show if you've never seen it. It's a British-based show, but they basically have, it's amazing. Families will come and they'll bring their family heirlooms, and they have an expert who can tell you all about it. It was from France, and this family, had it, or whatever. There was a first-person witness account of the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, which would go for, they were like, go for around 3,000 pounds. And, every time they're like, oh my God, I have no idea. And then they're like, I'm going to keep it. I'm stowing it away. And it's just like, what if the history is what makes these things come alive, and we all have them in our families, or the government has them now, and they're not getting the attention and respect they deserve, and things are way better when we share them and talk about them. And I don't, it doesn't have to be physically sharing the ring. They're part of America's history. They're part of our history. They're part of it, not even just the U.S., but the world, because they're all, rubies from Myanmar, emeralds from Colombia, diamonds from South Africa or Russia. There's so much that we've kind of forgotten because we live in a culture that is just, we're stressed the fuck out by time, honestly. Like, I've kind of always thought that time was my worst enemy, because it's always the thing in the back of my mind that's pressuring me. And, it would be really nice to turn that around, to turn time from our enemy into something that benefits us, because there's so much to know, and I want to know about, where all these jewels come from. But getting off track, let me see. So, hello. Travel-wise, as I said, I'm still getting myself back together. Waterworks coming. Have dropped the ball on a lot of things, and, asked favors when I was starting out my new business expansion in February. And then Corona hit the U.S. and shit, hit the fan. A lot of things, I was, really, my house is cram-packed with shit that I was going to ship to the Bahamas or upgrade here, because I Airbnb half my house here in Denver, and that's my main biz. And anyways, so once that hit, it was like, all this stuff that I had, anticipated getting help on and working towards, just everything got put on hold. And not only that, but not taking care of yourself takes a toll. And I was trying to cope in ways that I shouldn't have, that I realize now. But I have also spent a lot of time reflecting and learning and observing, and it's concerning to me where the state of affairs are in the U.S. Kids are going to be sent to school where it's not safe right now, and we have the technology to keep people safe and educate them at the same time. and it's not always the traditional sense. I think books are worth their weight in gold. But what I'm saying is that our leadership doesn't care about people's lives, and it's terrifying. And given the situation, I feel really compelled to do something and to bring attention to this. Because another thing, I feel like I'm all over the place, so I apologize, but it's a big idea that I'm trying to express. Basically, the U.S. has America's jewels and real estate, and they don't value it because they don't know what it is. And that's kind of like the beauty of the Antiques Roadshow. They show you what it is, and that's where the value comes from. And that whole system right now is basically left in the hands of mom and pop to have antique shops, or if you're lucky, Sotheby's or Christie's, 2 for-profit places. But, well, and I'm not, no trash on them, but it can be so much bigger. It could be so much bigger. You think about all of the jobs that could be created from people who are going to have to go through these, homes, not to be so, somber, I guess, but that's not the right word, but, the people who have passed away from corona, wherever that ends up, if it ends up in the government's hands, it shouldn't be just sold as soon as it can possibly be sold for, the quickest dollar. That's the problem with how the U.S. government is right now. All of these homes and jewelry are sold for the quickest cash they can get as soon as they can get it, instead of people taking the time to figure out what it is, what its value is. And if you think about all the jobs that could be created, also cleaning up houses, all of that, all those properties are just sitting there. But so this is kind of what's going on in my head. But there's a lot of jobs that can be created, and that's kind of my dream, but I gotta take it one day at a time, which is what I want to call my new podcast. So this is kind of my first pilot episode. It's whatever, but that will be what I'm trying to start next too. And yeah, so let me, further ado, get out the Apple Watch. So I'll show you my box. I have 4 of them. They're all, well, 3 of them have like the activation lock on them still. 2 of them have the activation lock. And I found a site that will remove it within 5 to 10 business days. Thank you. And so I already submitted the request for that last week, so they should be removed. One of them, I can't get it to turn on. But this one is an Apple Series 4. This is the one that's this giveaway, and I will turn it on for you. Oh, it's dying. Where? It does work though. I just got to take the activation lock, but you'll see it. It's pretty. It works. This is a Series 1 38mm aluminum case, and so I am going to draw it right now. This is the first giveaway that I've been the person drawing it. So usually if I do a giveaway, I join other influencers, and you pay to be a part of it, and the payment goes towards the pot, and then that's what people can win. And this time I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw a name from one of the websites. It will pick, the rule was you can only have one mention per comment, and so it will go through the comments with that filter, and we will have our winner. So let me just pull that up real quick. Anybody have any questions or want to talk? I've never done the live with somebody, but I am open to chatting with somebody else other than just myself. If anybody wants to join my live right now while I find where I bookmarked this fucking thing. As you can see, I am trying to get my I'm trying to get my life together, and so I apologize for not, you know, having it together, but I think that's also just part of the culture we live in, that, you know, everything's expected. Like, you could be on your fucking deathbed and people are like, where's the email, or where's your report? But I digress. Thank you, Joey, for the positive vibes. It's just a lot going on. Okay, where the hell is this? I should have prepared this. I thought I did. What? I don't like that. Okay. Hi. Jesus. I feel awkward. I'm trying. I'm going. I'm doing it. There it is. Okay. So, get my Instagram link. Copy link. Post it. So, simpliers.com is what I'm using. Free Instagram. God, this is one of my first times doing live, so hello and welcome. What I do for a living is mostly Airbnb, half my house here in Denver, and I'm expanding to the Bahamas, and now also doing estate jewelry and travel blogging and whatever I can get my hands on, because that's kind of what I do. I'm all over the place all the time, and I like it. Let me not get distracted. Okay. Minimum tag, 1. 1 winner, 1 substitute. Thank you. Yeah, it does make me happy, but I am definitely an empath, and I feel a lot of what is going on in the world, and, you know, not to, like, say it's my responsibility, but, you know, you can't help it. And yes, I would love to work with anybody who is passionate about doing something, and that's kind of what I was trying to say too, is that there's a lot of opportunity in a lot of different ways that I can't even get into right now. Okay, I think we're pulling up the winner right now. How do I turn it around? Jan Lee Binder. What is that? Oh, that's the different one. Jansan22, you're our winner. So I'm gonna DM you and get your address and give you that. You win the Apple Watch, so I'll coordinate that with you. I'll make sure the activation lock is taken off it before I email or mail it to you, though. Yay! And I'm happy you're here on the live. So that makes me so happy. I've seen you were trying, and you saw that picker. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't interfere. But I'm glad that someone is excited for it and is going to use it. And yes, it is all of our responsibility to make a difference. And I think we're overwhelmed as it is, so it's a lot easier to close your eyes and pretend it's not there. You know, like when you were a kid, if you closed your eyes, you thought you were invisible, no one could see you, or like Donald Trump. If we test cases, then of course we're gonna have more. Anyways, but you're welcome. And I'm gonna do a giveaway at least once a month. I'm kind of still evaluating what the fuck I'm doing, but I want to do it bi-weekly. But I'm overly ambitious, so I don't want to overpromise. But at least once a month. Where was I going? Totally forgot what I was saying. Fuck. I'll take a sip of water. Yeah, we need to do something. Radical self-care. That is true. And I think, well, I've realized that a big problem in taking care of yourself is not knowing how and not knowing what is actually good for you and what's not, because we don't have the proper education system in place for food, and we live in a country that is all about fast food and cheap food. Like, all of that bad free food is a lot cheaper than actually healthy stuff. Like, organic is like the most expensive, and it shouldn't be that way. We should also just have a lot more access to local foods, instead of having them shipped, because that shelf life also depletes a lot of the nutrients, and we don't get as much from it either. So it's not the same as a mango in the Philippines fresh off the tree is going to be way different than a mango here in the States. Just, it's facts. But I take that is from Dennis O'Neill, I believe. I'll have to look that up and make sure that's his name. There's Zac Efron and him travel the world in Zac Efron's new show on Netflix called Down to Earth, and it's a really great concept of going around and focusing on the renewability of these resources, and it's kind of a lot of what Gordon Ramsay has done, or Anthony Bourdain, in looking at how these different cultures use what is available. Darren O'Neill. Thanks, Mom. And, using the resources around us. But Darren O'Neill is a superfood guru and health guru, and basically he guides Zach to these places that have superfoods, like the Amazon rainforest, and that's kind of what I've been doing too. My mom is a health nut, so we've been watching that together, and she has been taking care of me with supplements, which I also wanted to talk to you about. She's introduced me to Kratom, if you've ever heard of it. It's a powder, and there's different levels of intensity of it, so you have to kind of be mindful of that. Basically, it has helped me with my depression. I take it, and it's been an alcohol replacement for me, basically. Helps me, my mood lightens, but I don't lose the cognitive ability, and my body definitely doesn't have the negativity, the negative reactions from the alcohol instead. But I'll have to have her tell you guys about it. My bad. But okay, I think I've accomplished pretty much everything I wanted to do on this one, so thank you guys for joining me. Let's see. Might as well. You want to be in my live video? We'll try. Nope. Justin 10 said. Anyone else? Any takers? But yeah, I could talk for a while. I am trying to find ways to get people to help build this with me and use other people's strengths to find their passion, to find their way towards building this all together. And I don't feel like I'm quite saying that in the way that I want to frame it, but basically we all have something to offer, and instead of focusing on what we know already, I would like to find out what we don't know. And, you know, whatever excites you most is what you should pursue. That is amazing. I meditated for 20 minutes before this video, and then I had, you know, a friend rightfully freak out on me and kind of lost it for a little bit, but got back on track. Because, yes, if we do want to change the system, we have to start with ourselves. And I think, but a big thing of that is not just focusing on yourself or, you know, being kind or whatever, but it's about education. And we have to educate ourselves on different people's perspectives as well as just information that's out in the world. And because the more you know about the universe that we live in, the more you can connect the dots, and the more things make sense. And, you know, it's really hard to understand where someone is coming from if you really don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. And we don't like to say that we don't know what people are talking about, so we just kind of act like we do. But the resources we have available to us, it's overwhelming, but they're there. So, you know, there's hope. And I think that we're seeing a lot of resistance in the country because the people at the top are just comfortable and they don't want to change because that requires work. And, you know, people are inherently lazy. So if they're set, of course they don't want to fucking do anything. But adjusting is necessary. But yeah, so I'm going to end that here. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you later. My new podcast is going to be called One Day at a Time, and I will try and do 30 minutes a day, every other day maybe. Who knows? I'll take it one day at a time, but that's the, you know, goal. Yes, you're welcome. I will message you right now. Okay, bye guys. Have a good night, and stay hopeful. Things are going to work out. We just have to keep going. Yes, and I'll message you back. I would love to work. Anybody who, you know, feels like they need, I don't have, you know, jobs lined up for everybody, but if you feel stirred by whatever I'm saying and you feel like you want to be a part of it somehow, message me, and I want to keep you in mind. So we'll work together. Thank you for telling me to stay positive. Yeah, I'm trying to. All right. Thank you. Bye.